Good morning, everybody. Welcome into the PM and AM show with my co-host, Mike Lauer. What's going on, Mikey?
Morning there, Patrick.
And the man producing the show is my man, Al, all backed up from Clearwater, Florida. What's going on, Al?
Wait a minute, I'm all backed up from Clearwater.
Well, we don't know what's on that back door.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Look, 30 seconds into the show, Pat's already muffled.
It was a great time. It was really a good time. If you haven't done spring training, and I was going to talk to you guys about it, there's a way we could easily do this next year because it's very affordable. If you do it right, I literally had to wait in line for something. I ended up talking to this guy for 20 minutes. He gave me all the ins and outs of how to get down there from here without spending a buttload of money. I stayed in a hotel. It was a La Quinta Suites. It wasn't anything special. I didn't care because I wasn't going to be in there for much except for sleeping and whatever stuff. And I'm and it was literally a block and a half away from the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I could walk to the stadium from my hotel, and had a great time. I went down there. Food was great. What we would have paid $40 for a crab cake up here was 12 down there. So I'm yeah, do this. I ate like a king.
There you go. I mean, look, I saw the clips on EOP website and all that stuff, and it must suck though. You could go from hot and sticky hanging to the right to coming up here and cold and shriveled and hanging to the left. But I mean, that's for another story. But anyway, listen, Mike, it is a Sixers Sunday, and I'm all pumped up because it looks like the Sixers could be going on a 5-game winning streak. But we got to touch on some news that happened this past week. And yesterday, we had the Battle of Pennsylvania, and of course,
It wasn't a battle.
A battle means that there was a chance that either side could win.
Yeah,
it was a straight ass whooping again by Pittsburgh.
Yeah. The Flyers go on a road trip, and they come up with nothing. They went 0-3 in this road trip. But, Mike, the big news with the Philadelphia Flyers is that they got rid of their general manager, not Chuck Taylor, according to ESPN, but Chuck Fletcher. Mike, your thoughts on Chuck Fletcher being released?
It's a Band-Aid on a broken leg.
I like that. I like it.
It is. I mean, can we replace Dave Scott? Can he step down? Let somebody else run this team who cares about hockey. If Comcast is smart, they'll bring in somebody who's knowledgeable with hockey.
Yeah.
Bring in a hockey guy.
Not just that. I had the opportunity, like I said, I did the post Clear the Ice yesterday for that horrible
beat down.
God bless you.
Whooping of sorts. And I got in a conversation with a lot of the people chiming in on the comment section, and I said and a couple people brought up who do you think they're going to get? I'm that. This is the biggest question that you have about it. Don't worry about. Forget about can they get Bednard? Can they get who's the next big player they're going to bring in here? Who's how good is Torts going to be now? All that kind of stuff. The next question is who they bring in to be the GM and the hockey operations guy.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of look at the Phillies. Look at the difference when they brought in Dave Dombrowski. The difference that they made. This will be the biggest move that could be the difference between a 3 to 5 year rebuild
or 1 to 2.
Or a 15-year rebuild because we could just stay in the same schlock that we're in right now, and that is going to be the biggest question. And no offense to Danny Briere, he might turn out to be wonderful, but how would we even get a sample size that? Because here's another thing: even when they give us what they want, the Flyers screw up.
Yes.
Why do you wait till now? If you had this inkling that you're going to get rid of Chuck Fletcher, why now? Now you get 5 weeks for Danny Briere to do nothing.
But sit in the press box and look confused.
Look at his phone I don't even want to watch this game.
Right. I mean, he looked like he was trying to figure stuff out, and he's like you said, Al, he's just waiting for the season to come to an end. And the players show that, their body of work showed that on the ice yesterday. They're ready for the season to come to an end. I mean, I watched that game yesterday.
Why?
Right. It's like going through a root canal procedure watching this team anymore. I think
we're going to start doing hazard pay to get through.
Yeah, really, right? Clearing the ice, poor Matty B. I mean, he did the majority of the games this year before we all started, stepping in and helping. I mean, that poor guy. I mean, he must have shaken Flyer syndrome by now.
I'm telling you, man. So you look at that team and you watch the game. Okay, would you expect them to light up the lamp to get on the scoreboard early? A couple of redirects from Raquel, but then you had again. It's bad when you have a fourth liner. Keith Bellows makes it. It makes that turnaround, the turnover in the neutral zone, and he makes that laser-like shot that was not supposed to go in, but it did. And then Sidney Crosby, they hit Owen Tippett. Letang hits Owen Tippett with the puck, and then Crosby gets the rebound and just makes them pay. And how about that soft? If I could ship him out of here now, if Dave Flyers said you just want to get rid of the guy, I'll be the guy. I'll be the driver. Get rid of Provy now. He can't play defense. He had a one-on-one look between him and Crosby to make that stop, and he kind of just went, all right.
You just said it. They checked out.
Yeah.
They checked out. They're just going through the motions. One of the names I'm hearing, though, as a possible replacement, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion on this, was Ray Shero. They're talking about hiring Ray Shero.
Really?
Yes. Now, I know a lot of people are going to put the connection with his father. His father coached the 2 Stanley Cup teams here.
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't mind them bringing in Ray Shero, because if you are going to bring in, Ray's a hockey guy, and he's the guy who built that Pittsburgh team. That team that you saw yesterday, he was the architect of that. So I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him coming back.
Yeah, and that's what you need. You need like a legit hockey mind, not these old timers. Again, Mike, so you alluded to being just a band-aid on a broken leg, and that's the perfect way to look at this situation here with Chuck Fletcher being released, because again, and it's nothing against Danny Briere, and maybe Danny Briere will become the head GM, because it looks like he was already getting groomed for that spot. But again, is he going to be another yes man to David Scott? What's he going to be? I mean, is he going to be a yes man to because we all think, I still personally believe that the real GM of this team is still behind there, Bobby Clark. I think he has something to do with it.
Bobby Clark has nothing
yes,
to
he
do.
does.
No, he doesn't. You keep bringing up Clark, dude. Let it go. He has nothing to do with this team. Nothing.
He's got a position somewhere.
No, he don't. He does not have a position with the Flyers. He is an all-time great. That's it. And a former general manager. He's not a paid consultant. He's not.
I'm pretty sure he's got a position
he is
somewhere.
Nothing with the Flyers. You want to bring up Bill Barber? Bill Barber's a paid consultant. Billy Barber's paid. He's a paid consultant of the Flyers. If that guy you want to bring up, leave Clark alone. He's in Florida with his teeth in the glass.
And he's got a tombstone and in one of those suites up there. I'm telling you,
no, dude. No, Pat, you're wrong. You are wrong on this one. Bobby Clark has nothing to do with the Flyers.
I'm telling you.
You're telling me. I want to see proof of where he's at, because the dude's in Florida.
He's got some kind of mold to that team. Whether he's off the papers or not, he's still with the team.
No, he's not, Pat. No, he's not. You want to drive it home because you want to stick this narrative so bad that
that's all they do is they refund these.
Stop! They went outside the box, and how good did that do them?
Neither. All
right, then. So what do you want them to do? If they went outside the box,
that goes to tell you they still got inbred it with somewhere with these Broad Street bullies.
No, stop.
Yes.
I mean, stop with this whole Broad Street. They're not in no position of power. None of them are. None of them are. But you keep beating that damn drum, dude. Of course they're going to be revered until the Flyers win a cup. Until they win a cup, those teams are going to be revered. That's just how it is.
Well, I'm telling you, Mike.
If you're tired of seeing them, look, dude. Half of the team's probably going to die off. They're in your.
There's no direction with this team. There's none.
Okay, but that don't got nothing to do with the bullies.
That has a lot to do with the bullies.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. The way this team is structured now has nothing to do with Clark, with Barber. Has nothing to do with them guys. They were not in charge. If you want to nail Bobby Clark for not winning a cup in the 90s, dude, I'd be right there backing you up on that. Bobby Clark's got nothing to do with this, dude. You are so blindsided because you have a hatred for that team for some odd reason.
No, I don't have it. Look, I respect what they did.
Can't hurt you anymore, Pat.
No, I understand. They won 2
Bobby Clark's got something to do with it. He's pulling the strings. Dude, he ain't pulling the strings.
He messed with my favorite player of all time. Okay, that was enough.
Well, too bad. That happens.
You don't mess with number 88. All right, you leave him alone.
Mr. Potato Head, please. Stop.
You leave him alone. Damn it.
Yeah, dude. The best meme the best original meme I ever saw was Eric Lindros laid up in a ball and it says not going anywhere for a while, and it was a Snickers with a Snickers bar.
geez.
Oh man,
That was great. I'm sorry, I wasn't a big Eric Lindros fan. I thought Leclerc made him. I know he definitely made Leclerc. I will say that, but Leclerc made him too.
well, he was the last superstar we had. with
Yeah,
him.
and what happened? He didn't win nothing either.
No, well, again, he's look, and he said in a documentary, you're going against that Red Wings team, and they were head and shoulders above this Flyers team. Flyers were not.
Yeah, I know, and
expecting
it proved it. They got swept.
Yeah, but anyway, but back to this again. To me, I don't know what they're going to do in that front office. I don't know.
I think Ray Shearer's going to get the nod, and it's nothing against Danny Briere. I don't
Why do you want outside of his dad? Why do you want Ray Shearer?
because he's a proven winner, and he's not Flyer royalty, which will be a great thing for his argument. Okay,
Is he like that best type of like they get their Flyer royalty, quote unquote, and fans get somebody?
Well, it's last name recognition. They'll look and go, okay, that's Freddie's kid. But I mean, Freddie's kid won 3 cups in Pittsburgh. So, I mean, he literally he had to go to the other side of the state to prove his worth. So, I mean, why not bring him back?
All I know is if they're going to have something that like I said,
I mean, if they hire Shiro, are you going to get mad because that's the son of the coach of those teams?
No, I mean if he's got great success building a Pittsburgh.
Listen, I don't care if who it is. We need success.
I'm with you.
And the problem is you keep running into former Flyer after former Flyer. I mean, look at the interim guy is 20. The guy who played in 2010 to I guess he was 2012 when he was out of here. In Danny Briere. So it just keeps to be this.
Yeah, but I mean,
if you keep failing and failing and failing for 50 years. At one point, the common denominators stop using the Flyers. My thing is, and I said this for get-go, I don't care if he's a former Flyer or not. The people they bring in, they should be bringing people in who've worked with these organizations like Colorado, who have, 5 years ago were crap. 6 years ago were crap, and now they've won Stanley Cups. You need to go to proven commodities. Look at the Eagles. They were fleeced at the end of this run, and they didn't even win the championship. They were second place.
Right.
And they were fleeced, and they had guys leave and everything.
But the problem is, though, with that is like, okay, you bring up Briere. Yeah, he's a former Flyer, but he's also a former Sabre. He's also a former Canadian.
Well,
which, by the way, he left Montreal.
By almost any player at one point, yeah.
Right. He left Montreal to come here. So I mean, Montreal just a couple years ago was playing in the Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah, well,
I mean, do you want to give him? I mean, I imagine they're probably going to give him a chance, but I would like to see Shiro come in as his boss, like in other words, director of hockey operations, like you said, Al. You get him in there, you get them two working together. I think they can turn it around. But Dave Scott's just got to stay out of the way. That's the issue. Dave Scott and these players that are not performing under their contracts. Like, thank God JVR's gone, because to me, I feel like that was a bad contract, which, by the way, Hextall gave him. It wasn't even Fletcher,
So let me ask you, Mike. I mean, Chuck Fletcher pretty much said it himself. Like, he gave you the written on the wall, like, I'm not going to be here. I'm more likely not going to be here for when they. And look, and within a week, he was gone. So, like I said, if they made, like you said, I agree with both of you guys. I don't care who they, if Danny Briere gets the job, great. Now let's see what he can do. Again, there's a lot of mess on the table that he's got to scrub out, and he's got to make smart hockey decisions. Again, tons of bad contracts on the table for him that he's got to figure out, or whoever the next GM's got to figure out. They need to get together here. They need to solve this.
They got to get younger, man. They got to get younger. And what I mean by that is they have a nice little core. They got to add to their core. All right. On the defensive side, you got, Cam York. You got on the offensive side, you got Morgan Frost, Noah Cates. They have a nice little nucleus there. You got to add pieces to that nucleus now, and then watch it grow. So they got to cut out all.
So if you're when you watch these games, Mike, and we all do it here, me, you, Al, Matty B, when we evaluate the Flyers, who are you keeping for next year?
I really have no ties to anybody at this point.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I don't-
That's why, like I said, a lot of people think I have a personal vendetta against Carter Hart or nothing, but no, I think that's where you get your most bang for your buck.
I
for-
think
for
you're
the
hurt.
future.
Listen, like the Flyers were your prom date, and you were super excited about, and you've been standing in the rain, wilting in a wet dress.
Oh
Like you're waiting for them to pull up, and they ain't coming, bro.
no,
They ain't coming. They stood you up. They took your worst enemy to the prom and let them rub their leg up your thigh, and they didn't happen, man.
Mhm.
I'm surprised, man. There ain't been no comments yet. I guess people didn't get the memo that clocks were sprung ahead.
And people's heads it's still 8:16 a.m. So
Yeah.
Somebody probably woke up like, "The hell are they going on? What time did they start?"
exactly.
But good.
But and I think Pat, that's a lot of your problem. Like you want it now. You've waited long enough. I mean, everybody's waited long enough. I mean, none of us in the room
It's
were
been
alive. None of us in the room were alive for when they won last.
And it's been 13 years since they've been a contender.
Yeah.
13 years.
And that was a fluke thing too. I mean,
Yeah.
they squeaked into the playoffs. They
It was
squeaked
I was
in.
about to say that was the last. Was it last day of the season?
Yeah.
You know,
I gave up my
shootout.
tickets to that game. I
You got
gave
tickets to that.
I
game,
had
the
tickets to that
Rangers?
game.
Oh,
I
that's
said to my
nuts.
dad and I said, take my nephew. You guys go have a good time. I'm like, I got something else to do. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's just a game. They're good seats. Actually, they were great seats. They were glass seats. They were around the glass. And I'm like, here, just go and enjoy it. And then I tuned. I'm like, oh my god, what happened here? And then that just turned into a great story that we'll talk about, like the '93 Phillies. A team that made a great run.
Yes.
But ultimately just came up short.
And that's what happened with this team. And again, and they haven't figured out since then, how to construct it right. Again, they had a couple of nice little playoff runs since then. They only had 3. And then they got rid of, we all know the story, got rid of Peter Laviolette, and then it's been abysmal since then. And then you watch a guy like Mike Sullivan yesterday, gets his 400 career win as a head coach. I hate to sound like that. What's up, Dave? So I hate to sound like that guy, but man, I enjoy watching Mike Sullivan coach because he's a smart guy. And look, the Penguins are getting hot at the right time. It was definitely, like I said, stuff like that you admire. And even though, like I said, he's wearing the Pittsburgh colors, but man, guys like that, I wish were the bench balls for the Flyers.
Dude, I'm telling you, you know what? Like you and Pittsburgh Polish should go get a room.
Why?
I swear. Oh my God.
Hatch it out.
Yeah, it's just his imagination. Dude, look at their payroll and look at the Flyers payroll compared to what and the players they have. They should have steamrolled the Flyers 5-1 yesterday. They got a better team. Come on, dude. If they had the players, I'm sorry. You look at their lineup and you look at the Flyers lineup, you tell me where the Flyers are better.
No, again, you're pointing out the obvious, but I'm just giving you.
Dude, you're giving a testimonial to their coach. Oh, he
is good, Mike.
He's okay.
He's okay. He's only got 3 to 4, cups. He's okay. I'm sorry.
No, he didn't win all those cups. So
yeah, I said he's got about 3.
No, he's got
2. Okay,
1. No,
2.
He's only won 1 with the
2.
He's only won 1 with the Penguins.
2.
He's won 2 with the Penguins.
2.
Because I thought the other guy won 2. Bilesma or whatever the guy's name was before him.
Clark. Mike Sullivan's got 2.
Sullivan's got 2. Okay. So all right. So then the other guy before him. That's right. Yeah, they lost him 1.
Right.
They lost him 1. That's right. Yeah, they lost to. They had the back-to-backs with Detroit. They won 1.
Yes.
Lost
Yes.
1. That's right. So okay. So yeah, but still, I mean, again, you had 2 of the top 4 players in the league for all those years.
Well, right, and that's like I said, when you got top end talent, it makes your job a whole lot easier. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would love to have Chris Letang on our blue line.
Him, Crosby, Shrek's brother, Malkin. I would love. I would love to have that squad, but unfortunately, like you said, we are the thrift store of the NHL. It's tough to look at, but like I said, just like John Tortorella and Danny Briere, they got to figure out what's best for next year.
Sullivan actually won 2016 and 17. He was the first coach to go back to back.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was Sullivan because Bilesma was the one before that. That was what 20. I think it was 08, 09.
Yeah, that's what, like you said. They went back to back with Detroit Red Wings, and they both split it.
Yeah, they split. I know that. I forget which one they won. I think it was 08. I think Pittsburgh won in 09.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit won.
So again,
Matter of fact, I think that was Detroit's last year in the Western Conference.
right. So Mike, again, this Flyers team has dropped 7 of the last 8.
They're going to drop a lot more, dude. You know, they're in the kind of Bedard sweepstakes.
And listen, and again, as much as it pains me, but like I said, it's for the greater of the good. This is the name of the show, the greater of the good, because the Flyers have to make these moves. They have to tank. This is what they have to do for next year. Can they find that elite superstar? I don't know. I don't know.
They're going to get some.
I don't know
somebody good.
I don't know if they're intelligent enough, but hell, if Danny Brier's got the job and he can make the right moves,
just gotta hope he's the right guy.
And that's what
because to me it smells like he's the guy.
Yeah, that's
you don't give a guy an interim job that you've been grooming for like the last 5 weeks of a season, and then say, "Nah, dude, you're not the guy."
Right.
Unless they feel that he still if he can work under another guy for another year and a half, or 2 years, or 3 years, or whatever. I mean, if you tell Danny Briere, if they don't hire him as the GM, it's another 3 to 4 years before you're the GM again.
And I want to point out something Mike brought out. I would like for Danny Briere to take the job, because you brought up something about Montreal. He's helped that team. He's
he's the
Nick Suzuki and all those guys.
He's the guy who was the GM up there now. I forget his name, but he gave credit to Briere for bringing in like some of the talent that they've not only that they drafted, but they also acquired. So I look at it like this: if they do, I just want Dave Scott to step out of the way. I think if their Flyers are smart, if Comcast is smart, you bring Ray Shero in to be the director of hockey operations. You have Danny Briere be your general manager.
Right.
Now you got them two working together. Okay, I think if you put them two together,
right,
I think the Flyers will definitely shoot in the right direction, because you'll have guys who know what they're doing. Ray Shero, like I said, he built those teams in Pittsburgh. He was the mastermind behind the 08, 09, and I think he was the GM up until probably 2017?
17, yeah, 17, 18.
So you figure he's been there for 3 cups. So he brought our rival across state 3 Stanley Cups as their general manager.
Right.
That's the guy you want in your building.
Again, now you got 2 smart hockey heads in your front office.
Right. Now you have people, but I would make the title up. Even if Dave Scott wants to stay where he's at, just be like, all right, Ray, you're head of hockey, relations, hockey talent relations, whatever. Danny, you're the GM. And they work together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think he was let go by the Devils?
Dude, I don't think he wanted to be there anymore. That's another thing, too. He helped build them. He helped build the Devils.
Yeah.
In his couple of years he was there, look what he did. He got Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes is looking like a stud now. I mean, again, it's nice for, again.
I just don't want his brother. You know what I mean? Whatever we do, don't draft his brother, because Philadelphia always gets the wrong brother. You ever notice that?
Yes.
We didn't get we didn't get Joe DiMaggio, we got Vince. We didn't get Greg Maddux, we got Mike.
Right. And for
Giambi, we got Jeremy, not Jason.
And for a couple of years, you had to deal with Chucky. Now you got Pat.
I don't know. To me, that's a stalemate there.
Oh.
So just give you an idea. So Ray Shero was with the Penguins from 06 to 14.
Okay.
Under him, they won 1 Stanley Cup in 09. The other 2 were 16 and 17. So you give him credit for those, or not really?
I would give him credit for those, because
they were still a playoff.
Yeah, look at the team. Look at the team.
Contender.
Look at the team he built. You know what I mean? Like they were a powerhouse.
Again,
when did Crosby get here? Did he bring Crosby in?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah. But I mean, dude, I don't care what anybody says. The NHL did Pittsburgh a huge solid by letting them draft Crosby. You know it was set up. Both times Pittsburgh's team was ready to fold up and move, they got 2 generational players. The first time they got Lemieux. The second time they got Crosby. Like, I want to know, when is it our turn to finally get a generational player? I mean, they gave us Eric Lindros. Oh, it's only because we had to trade away half our team.
Right.
For him. I mean, if you look at the haul that we gave up for Lindros, what those players end up becoming, we gave up Forsberg. We had Chris Simon would have been on our team. You want to talk about an enforcer, dude? Nobody would have touched Lindros. Scott Stevens would have got his ass beat every game.
Right.
All right. They gave him up. They gave up Matt Duchene, who was a great defenseman.
Matt Duchene.
gave him up. He was a scoring defenseman.
Mhm.
Gave him up, and then a ton of picks. Like, I mean, I think like 3 of the picks end up being like Adam Foote was a pick.
Adam, yeah, I loved Adam Foote. He
Yeah,
was great with the Avalanche.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But when he was with Quebec, when he was
Yeah.
brought up there, like they gave up so much, man. There were so many picks that, like for me, just for one player, and it didn't pay off.
Yeah.
That was the gamble. Now, a lot of people want to kill Clark for doing that. I don't kill Clark. He took a shot. This guy was supposed to be the next big thing in hockey. He just was a Mr. Potato Head. He wouldn't take the hits.
As soon as he that like I said, Scott Stevens once he laid him out with the shot, that was it. But yeah, like I said,
that's how Stevens. That's the only way Stevens could do it.
Play hockey. But yeah, Mike, we got Vegas coming in here Tuesday, and probably another beatdown because they actually went into Carolina yesterday and mopped them for nothing. So again, you get Jack Eichel, you got the legend Phil Kessler, Taylor Steffens, who leads that team in points. So again, it's going to be another. They're going to come here, get their cheesesteak, and then mop the Flyers.
Probably.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to go see a good hockey team, definitely go down and check out the Vegas Golden Knights because they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're well stacked.
And if you want a great time for the St. Patty's Day celebration, that's coming up this week, less than this Friday, to be honest with you. I go to Dolan's Bar, the most Delco's greatest and best Irish dive bar in the area, no doubt about it. 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park. This time, it's the 69th annual St. Patty's Day at Dolan's Bar. And Brent Porsche from 93 WMMR will be there rocking out for a few hours live on the air. Live bands, food vendors, drink specials. If you're going to be Irish for a day, the place to be is Dolan's Bar at 24 East Sellers Avenue. Back to you guys.
Yeah, well,
back to you guys.
And listen,
now we get to talk about the other winner team.
Yeah. Well, first of all, guys, if you haven't yet to hang out with Brett Porsche, from personal experience, the dude's awesome to hang out with. I suggest go out to Dolan's Bar next Friday, and like Al said, go be Irish for a day, and have a lot of fun because that dude's cool. So anyway, yeah, to wrap up this Flyers conversation here, like I said, we'll see.
Dude, we spent way too much time on this Flyers.
No, we didn't. This is you and I are diehard Flyers fans. You know, we love this.
Are you kowtowing to yourself or the fan or the people watching?
All right,
a little bit of both. A little bit. So you like the Flyers? You're just doing what the internal people think about it. It's not about the external.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
I'm just thinking. I thought out loud. That was my fault.
Yeah. Well, and listen, when I think out loud, my brain fries. But
yeah, I know.
It hurts. It hurts.
Is that what that smell is?
Yeah. It's not the burnt toaster that's around here. It's actually my brain. So anyway, it is Sixers Sunday. I'm thrilled. We should all be thrilled because again, in a battle against the Trail Blazers, it was not Dame Lillard. Like I told someone, "Oh, Dame Lillard's going to get dropped 40. You watch." I said, "No, he won't." I said it's going to be Embiid. And Mzilla, not 40, but 39 points on Friday is not bad.
Mzilla? Is that what you're calling him?
Yes,
now?
Because when Titans go into Tokyo. Yes, because when Titans go into Tokyo, they got to answer to Gonzo. When Titans come into South Philly, they got to answer to Mzilla. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
No, stop. We're asking you to stop, please.
You don't like that?
This will never be a thing. This will be a thing.
I'll tell you what. You know,
Troel Embiid will be a thing. The process will be a thing.
I'll tell you what.
You know
who impressed me or not though in that game Friday night was Daniel House. He had a
yes.
Did you see that dunk?
Mm-hmm.
That dunk was special, man. I was like, ooh. I was like, okay, House.
Yeah, well, speaking of that game, like I said, Anthony Sims, if you didn't know who he was.
Oh, yeah. Did he have a coming out?
5 for 6, 19 points in that first half. And my God, he was just killing them, killing the Sixers from the perimeter.
Dame Lillard, 34 points from Anthony Simons.
Bro, he could not be stopped from 3-point lane. Like, he had 8 or 9 threes?
Yeah.
In the game. I think he set a career high.
Yeah, 8. He was 8 for 12 overall. And yeah, like I said,
he was just money. He was on fire. Like that was like if
there was no containing him.
Right. If you remember NBA Live, when we were kids,
with the fireball.
Yeah, he was in Fuego.
The NBA jams, the fireball. Yeah. My man was money.
He was all over. I'll tell you what, they did a decent job on Dame. I thought.
Yes, they
Because
did.
James going to get his points.
And that's what you're like you said, that was your worry about. Again, so let me ask you guys. I notice a lot about these first halves, and I do not like it. They put Embiid on the perimeter for defense. I'm not feeling it because there's the mismatch because then they have James Harden in the paint, and that's where like the centers take advantage of. That's where the mismatch is.
Yeah, I saw that quite a few times.
Yeah.
When they did the switch off like that, watching the game. You know, I don't know why Doc keeps doing that. I mean, to me, it's frustrating because it's an easy like that dude for something. It's just it was a little off.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
like I said, that's the mismatches there. And then, like I said, they adjusted. But how about another former Sixer going off? Jeremy Grant with 24 points on Friday. So he put up some decent points. But like I said, the second half was where your story was at. Portland Trail Blazers were up big. At the first half, and
they
then,
were up the entire game except for 1.1
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, until about.
If you look at the graph where it shows you the lead,
And
they
right,
go back and forth that they have on Sixers.com. It's just a big red wave. And,
Yes.
and then there's a little blue line at the last second.
just every time
You
it looked
barely
like
see you, end up blowing up to see it.
Yeah, like every time you thought the Sixers would come back, like Portland would extend the lead, and then like you said, that fourth quarter, that was again, and this is where I gotta give James Harden his due. He knows how to facilitate. He knows to find the open guy. Like you said, Anthony House on the perimeter, just dropping dimes. George Niang coming up clutch.
Niang had a couple big threes.
Bang, George Niang.
Yeah.
Coming up clutch.
I'll tell you what, I'm really like, and I'll tell you the other kid, the guy we just got in the trade, number 7. The hell's his name?
Jalen McDaniels.
Jalen McDaniels. I thought they got him with a BS ticky tack call in that fourth quarter, but he was, we were just. I was sitting there watching.
He had a nice dunk. In the game. And like I said, they know how to facilitate, and Embiid is just untouchable. You got 3 guys on him. That elbow jump shot he's got is just money, and there's no stopping him. I mean, and the fadeaway he made when the money was on, he just made that turnaround elbow fadeaway jump shot, and it just sent the Trailblazers going home. So, Al, what's your take from this game on Friday?
My take is generally, actually, not just this game, but leading into this game, especially since the break, is the Sixers. We've been all doubting the Sixers a lot, which I think they've earned. I think they've earned that over the years because it keeps playing out the same way, and it still can. It still can play out, the same way. They second round bail out, and that's it. But as of right now, this team's playing very well. You see, James Harden since the All-Star break has just been on fire, rebounding king, assist king, and he's coming up clutch at times. Embiid, same thing. He's doing Embiid type things. The question is, can this continue further into the postseason? We'll find out. You're getting guys Maxey, since he's returned to the starting lineup, has been on fire. We talked about maybe it would be best for him to come off the bench. Obviously, maybe it's not. But you get guys like Daniel House you see him step up. Tobias, we didn't have Tobias Harris for a few games, and we were able to get past it. We didn't have PJ Tucker for a few games, able to get past it. But ultimately, no, it's been this team has been playing very well, and they were getting stuck and they were down. It's that's they are coming back now. They're showing like, all right, we're down 20 points, we're down 30 points, and you're sitting there going, gulp. 9 times out of 10, gulp was a good reason, but they are coming back. They're not out of this game. You look at them; they're down 20 points. You got to watch the last 1.1 second to find out. Hey, guess what? This team does not quit.
No,
I'll tell you what, and they finished now too. Like there's a big difference from a year ago. They got yes, Embiid finished, but he finished this one, almost finished the game in Boston. But you have other people too, like Harden's not scared to take a shot, Maxey's not scared to take a shot. But like I said, I think going forward, I like the Sixers' chances. I just don't think they're going to get past Boston. That's been my take.
And look, you may be right on that, but for now, like I said, I like what I saw, and like going back to your point about James Harden again, a great facilitator, and he's like the quarterback of this team. He knows where to go with the rock. He knows when to facilitate, and he knows when to drop the dime. Like he pulled that jump shot from the 3-point land, and it was money. And again, he knows when to shoot. He knows when to facilitate. He knows how to run this offense, and I love it. And the half court sets, he's really, really great. And
yes, Dave, we got double chicken.
yes, Dave,
Yeah.
you got a lot of chicken in your mouth.
We all got chicken coming.
Yo, Joe, what's up, my man?
Morning, Joe.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Sixers team. Part of it's they were overlapped by the Phillies. Part of it was they were overlapped by the Eagles. Now they're the only team in town that we care about because the Phillies haven't started yet.
The Flyers
The Flyers they ended a long time ago.
Can I tell you something, guys? I love the men on this team. Everyone does a great job here because look at me. No, because my man Dives. Oh, sorry, the coffee room. Oh my God. But
you know, Team EOP, you mean?
Yeah, yes.
thought
On
you
Team
were talking
EOP, I love.
Yeah, use your words wisely, bro. Somebody might take that the wrong way. That's all I'm saying.
First part, him choosing anything wisely is
Yeah, it doesn't go.
I need a swing.
Yeah. Well, listen, everyone on the EOP family does a great job because that was Dodge that point out that stat. 5-1 is Maxey when he's starting. Again, to me, he doesn't have the swag coming off the bench. He's got the energy. He's got the swag. He's got the aggressiveness when he starts. And that's why I really like, him doing a phenomenal job. Like, again, he gives you that momentum. And I get what Doc was looking for. He was looking for that mismatch coming off the bench, and he can really be a big, be that fire plug there. But he does a great, like I said, that's where you need Max. You need him in that starting, lineup. So
I like the fact that they switched him and DeAnthony Melton.
Yeah,
kind of switched them out because DeAnthony Melton. I mean, he had a good game Friday night. He did. He banged a couple threes.
Yeah, he
out of there.
did.
So, I mean, it's rolling for the Sixers. And I want to see them do well. You know what I mean? I know Joe had to explain yesterday to Dame, to Damian that where I was coming from. But with this whole trade and B thing, me personally, I still think that they should. Because it's going to get to a point where I think either they're going to have to trade him or he's going to want to be traded.
all right.
I just don't see, as good as this team is playing right now, I still don't think they're better than Boston. I really don't. Even with Boston slipping a little bit and losing the number one, I just don't feel like they're as good as Boston. Boston's a better team. They're a better coach team.
Yeah, and to go along with what Dives, he tweeted out, if you look at Mr. Crockpot on Twitter, 5-1, like you said, since the return of Maxey. Maxey's stats in the last 6 games are 24.3 points a game, 55.6% from the three. He's plus 6.2 and 8.7 net rating. And he's nearly 68% field goal percentage on drive. So, I mean, the guy, listen, it's all about fitting these pieces together, right?
Right.
I mean, you got good talent on this team. It's like fitting the talent together, though. Do we stop riding Doc Rivers?
Yeah, because again,
you have to listen. It seems to be like when the Sixers team does bad, we blame Doc Rivers. When the Sixers team does good, they did it.
They look everywhere else.
Despite
now, you got to give Doc credit.
I mean, you do.
I mean, some of the criticism that comes his way is warranted, though.
Yes, I agree.
It is. I mean, but you also. Yeah, now that the shoe's on the other foot, you got to give the man credit. Like if you can criticize him, then you got to give him praise when he does good. And he's been coaching well, like I said.
And again, they figured out as a team. They make their adjustments. Through half. Okay, listen, we're down 21 points. We can figure out how to come back on this. We'll figure out how to play a better defense. And again, man-to-man coverage, man-to-man zone defense. Fine, we'll play that. We can play the 2-3, however you want it. We'll figure this out. So, and that's like I said, that's where I like the Sixers, really, really, just doing their thing, man. They're great. They're a great team, and maybe they fall short the Boston in the playoffs. I can't tell you that right now. I don't know if that was Maxey coming off the bench, though. Maybe if Maxey starts, he might be a big time issue for them. So, and just like I said, put them on their heels. So. But like I said, we do have the Washington Wizards coming in tonight. They're coming off a 2-game loss. losing streak. They're going to come into South Philly tonight. You still got to deal with Porzingis, Kyle Kuzma, and Bradley Beal. They, like I said, they played Washington on Friday night. I mean, they played the Atlanta Hawks Friday night, and they wound up getting whacked. So they're looking, I guess, to make some kind of revenge because they hold the 10th seed as a planned tournament. So I guess they're going to give you the best punch.
And here's the thing is, and it's kind of weird to say it this way, but so the Sixers just came off since the All-Star break, had a pretty grueling schedule.
Yeah.
Teams that are really good that they played against, and they've had to play well. And then, of course, the Pacers, who always seem to give the Sixers fits for whatever reason.
Right.
T.J. McConnell just continues to be a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
But
it's because he wants to be a Sixer.
Well, he wants to come back, right? I mean, if you think about it, since then they played the Grizzlies, the Celtics, the Heat twice, Mavericks, Bucks, Pacers, Timberwolves, and then the Trailblazers. And tonight kind of starts, I don't want to say an easier pathway. They have a little lighter of the schedule, but yeah, the Wizards, then you have the Cavs, then you have the Hornets and Pacers.
You're back on the road.
This will tell me if they play down, like scheduled lost, or guys are going to get a little rest time because they think they can win this without them. This will tell me if this team's in it to win it a little bit.
Yeah, and again, the whole schedule loss thing, I think that's just Doc still trying to figure out this team and work his rotations and all that stuff. But I think he's got it bundled up now what he wants to do.
And if you look at it, I mean, we've kind of been playing around with the fact that this team has had a tough schedule in the second half. I'm kind of just scrolling down from after this next 4 games. That's like I said, Wizards, Cavs, Hornets, Pacers. You got the Bulls back-to-back games, home and away. Then you got the Warriors, the Suns, the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Raptors, the Bucks, the Celtics, the Heat, the Hawks, and the Nets. That's it. That's the end of the season. That's how you're going to end off the season. After these next 4 games, it is.
Yeah,
it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet.
Again, what Bob Cooney said, 12 out of 15 games in March, or you're going to be on the road, and which could be really good for the Sixers because they can bond and all that stuff and build chemistry and all the fun things. And
can they handle it? That's the key question. Can they handle it? Can they go to Miami and South Beach and not go out and get schnockered?
Yeah, well, listen, as long as they don't hang out the wrong places, I guess so. But again, you just alluded to, you're going out to Cleveland and you're going out to Pacers, Indiana and stuff like that. And then like 2 weeks from now, you go out to the West Coast. So Glenn Rivers deserves props. He only gets his balls breaking, never gets props. I totally agree, Joe. He never gets his props when the team is playing well. Like I said, he plays well. Again, when the team is down, they figure it out. They make all the right adjustments, and he should be getting praises. He should definitely get some big-time praises when the team is going well, like they are now. Again, going for their 5th straight win. So, how do you see the Sixers team? What does the Sixers team need to do tonight to stop the Washington Wizards?
Just play their game. I don't want to sound cliche, but just go out and play the game. There's no reason to really change anything unless somebody is going to get a rest. If Embiid has a bad wheel and you think you need to give him a rest, I don't know. It is what it is. But if everybody's healthy enough, you play the game you've been playing, and I think you win this game fairly handily. Maybe you don't have to fight so hard from behind.
Listen, I have no problem fighting hard from behind. But listen, when you're dealing with Kyle Kuzma and Bradley Beal, that duo right there, they could be lighting up the Sixers from the perimeter.
They very much can, but this can be a game that they can, if they play their game, they can win. It's just play their game. Don't
just gotta be on.
Maybe they give a guy like Paul Reed a little bit extra minutes. Maybe they give guys like Daniel House, who seemed like he earned it the last game, a little extra time to give guys like Harden and Maxey and them a little bit of a rest. Because like I said, when you play from behind, it's like playing 2 games. When you're playing that hard and you're struggling, and you come in. It sucks energy out of you. So I'm not saying they're not going to be rested to do so, but it's been since Friday. But my point is, play the game. You know what you've been doing. Don't have to be fancy with it. Don't have to be changing anything up. Obviously, keep inserting Maxey into the starting lineup until he shows you otherwise.
Right.
And play your game.
Yeah, like I just want to see Embiid and Porzingis down the paint. Just block out Porzingis. Just like put Maxey, Harden, and if you go Milton, put them on the perimeter for your perimeter D, and just play your game. Do not let these guys get their open shots because they are going to make you pay, especially Bradley Beal. Again, he put up 24. No, yeah, 24 points in Friday's matchup against the Hawks. So, like I said, you want to try and contain him as much as you can. And like I said, it's going to be, like I said, that duo right there on the perimeter is going to be tough to deal with him and Kyle Kuzma. So, Mike, what do you think?
I kind of agree with Al. I think if they play their game, I think Washington's going to keep it a little close though, because coming off that they're coming off an emotional win Friday night. You know what I mean? So they might be a little slow getting out the blocks tonight.
Yeah.
That's very well possible. And Washington's played them tough this year too. The games between them been kind of close. So I would definitely I can see Sixers like kind of pulling away late, but I think it might be a little bit of a dogfight. But you can still give guys, like you said, some rest. I would give Reed a little bit. McDaniels, I'd play him a lot. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about
And I
Porzingis.
like him. I wasn't sure.
Porzingis hasn't been good since he was on the Knicks.
I like McDaniels too. Like I didn't know what to think about him coming in. Like it's hard to really read these guys coming off bad teams, like the Hornets and stuff like that. And it's like I don't know. They might be good on a bad team, but what are they on a good team? And so far, I like what I've seen. And for what we replaced him for, we got to see him again on Friday night, and
he had a pretty good game.
He did, but what we replaced him for is we lost a little on defense, but we gained a lot more on offense. So I think that the levels moved out, and ultimately, I think we won that. We won that
trade.
I mean, look at the Trailblazers and all their glory. I mean, no offense, but here's a team that has Dame Lillard, who we've been wanting, and they're struggling.
Yeah, 13 seed.
Yeah.
So again, nothing really. They're not pushing up your needle, but since that 13 seed, so they're again thinking about next year. But like I said, Washington coming off a 2-game loss, trying to make that play-in tournament. So they got to come out with their best punch tonight. Again, they're going to have to do what they can. They're obviously know they're going to try to shoot the lights out from the perimeter and just try to have Porzingis play his game down in the paint. But like I said, I think the Sixers are just going to be too much for them. I think they're going to just make their adjustments like they've been doing all these games that they've been winning, just making their adjustments. They might fall back, maybe like a 10 to 15 point game, but I think they'll make their adjustments and come out with the dub. And I think they'll go right by them. So I think your player of the game tonight is again. I want to keep on doing that Harden train. James Harden, just like I said, being your quarterback from the perimeter again. No one hit the jumper, no one hit the pullback 3-pointer. Facilitating to the guys on the perimeter. I think he does all that for the Sixers tonight. So, look who it is. It's our man Muffler Mike.
We'll be on not too long after we are off because they have moved up to 11 a.m. today, just for today. So all across all the time we'll be on at 11 a.m. today.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Cool.
Yeah,
make sure you check them guys out, man.
And another key player here, sherrystickets.com. You got to check them out. Family owned and operated since 1946. Great prices, no hidden fees. You're not going to get bamboozled at checkout. You're not going to get whacked with any extra fees. It is what you see on the screen. Sports, concerts, theaters, you name it. They got your ticket for those hard to get events. And use that promo code EOP10 to get the additional 10% off at sherrystickets.com.
Yeah, well, listen, I love to talk Sixers all day long because I'm excited where this team is going, the direction of this team. Again, going for the 5th straight win. I think the Sixers are going to be able to pull it off. But let's hit the transmission into some Eagles because free agency is just right around the corner, Mike. And the Eagles are going to lose a ton. What did they do? We all know Miles Sanders and all those guys are Boston Scott. All those guys are going to lose a lot defensively, offensively. the open market for the Eagles is going to be a lot for the other teams to look at. What do you think the Eagles need to do here? Who do you think who they need to try to keep? All that stuff.
I still think they need to keep Gardner Johnson, and I believe it or not, like I'm looking, and really the only two places that are like really kind of heavy on him is Denver and Seattle. So it's a question of whether Howie can do that. Don't be surprised to hear about Howie restructuring some more contracts too within the next day or so.
I mean, he already did the kicker.
Yeah, he already did a kicker, and
So
he also
opened up like 2.5 million.
um
And
he
here's
also,
the thing: is
Team
just so you
Brandon
know,
Graham.
free agency starts Wednesday, but legal
tampering starts tomorrow.
at 9 a.m.
Starts
Oh,
tomorrow.
wow.
Yeah. So they're gonna kick it off. Darius Slay's gone.
Yeah, how about that?
Hey, listen,
but-
I don't
but
want to
you
be
know
the,
what?
I don't want to be the guy to toot my horn, but I kind of remember I said I think it was on this show
Yeah.
with you guys. I said,
Don't be
little-
surprised.
don't be surprised if he's not here because if they can unload him,
They're going to save a ton of money.
yeah,
Well, here's the thing too. He wanted an extension, but he didn't want to. He didn't want to do a team friendly deal. Not a team friendly deal, but like kind of like restructure his contract so they could keep more money. So that's why the Eagles told him to go out and get it. Now, the next thing that they're going to do, if he doesn't find a trade partner, they're going to cut him. Like, so Darius Slay's gone. Like, I'd be real surprised if he's here in September. Not to say that he's not good, that he's not worthy of being a starter of here. I just think it's a business decision. You know,
I think that's the one thing that the Eagles have had problems with in the past was not making business decisions. It was too like, oh, he's been really good to us.
let's keep him, right? Yeah,
Let's pay this guy a lot of money, and then by the time you're paying him a lot of money, you're like, this guy sucks,
right?
Or doesn't have enough left in this tank to do so,
right? And I don't think that. I mean, I think Slay got at least one more good year in him. You know, but
if you can unload
if you can unload him, yeah,
then you can talk about signing a Bradbury and maybe both.
Right. You can actually talk about bringing, you know, I don't know, like they were talking about that. I was listening, you know, talking heads on over the airwaves. They were talking about bringing him back. I thought Bradbury was okay. I would like to have Gardner Johnson back there. You can pick. I mean, dude, there's going to be so many cornerbacks available. I like the kid out of the Chargers, believe it or not. The kid from Delaware, Adderley.
Yes.
Nasir Adderley.
Mm-hmm.
I would sign him. He's 26 years old.
Yeah, actually, I think
Joey did a thing on him. It was really funny because I was thinking about him, and I was like, when I heard he was a free agent, I was like, ooh, they could definitely get him.
And it's not going to break the bank. I mean,
it's not going to break the bank, and he's a good, you know, he's a good cover corner. You can bring him in. Listen, I look at it like this. You know, it's a passing league. Whose defense is really dominant? If you take a look at it, San Francisco's, but I mean they're taking hits. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know.
And listen, they're not going to have their D'Amico Ryans leading that defense.
Yeah. So I mean, they've taken a hit. Dallas's defense is taking a hit. It's still a decent defense, but it's probably, you know, like they made the, you know, I mean, they kind of faded off at the end of the year too. So, like to me, it's an offensive driven league. So I think the Eagles are going to keep their foot on the offensive side of the ball, and if they have to go cheap, then let them go cheap. Like Kansas City made a living this year winning games.
Yeah,
Kansas City they won a Super Bowl, literally outscoring everybody else.
correct.
So, you know, I think that's what the Eagles are doing. Like, you know, I think they'll get some players in there. I think they're going to have that defensive line. I think they're going to do that. The only thing that's going to hurt is I think they're going to lose Hargraves. I think Hargraves is gone.
Yeah,
It's looking like
I don't think they're even entertaining trying to keep him.
No, because he's going to get $20 million a year, dude. And you're looking at, you know, he said,
Sean here.
yeah.
So Slay said there's no bad blood against neither one of us, me or the general manager, Howie Roseman. The 32-year-old said none of that. We're all good. Great understanding. Just business is part of it. A lot of guys go up for trade, and you know that's fine. Like if you can, like I said, I like Slay and thank you, Slay, for your service and and all that stuff. But we need to always think like we need to worry about that. Like if you got a guy like C.J. Gardner Johnson, you got a guy like Bradbury who are young,
Bradbury's not that young. He's only 2 years younger than
I
Slay.
thought he was 27.
No, he's 30.
Okay.
So
Well, I mean,
he's not that young.
I don't think I think Bradbury's gone anyway. I think he's going to go get that big payday that he knows he's not going to get here. But if you can sign a guy like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, lock him up, and you were unloading that kind of money then from Slay, it makes sense, and you could still go get a premier guy in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they're going to. I mean, whatever kid is available at 10, I think the Eagles are going to be smart. Because there's 5 quarterbacks that are up in this draft. So
Right.
Yeah, it looks like Dave's bringing up the fact that it looks like Minnesota is going to be parting ways with some guys, and one of them's Adam Thielen. I don't know, man. I mean, I like Adam Thielen.
I would bring him here.
But if it's all about the cost,
You right about now, you can get him for a vet minimum. I
really think you can get Adam Thielen for a vet minimum.
Yeah, I really do. I mean, his play. Look at his play over the last 5 years. It's declined. So, like at best, he would be a third option. But just think of it. I would take Thielen over some team's third option. Plus, he's been banged up too. So, I want Eric.
He's 32 years old.
Yeah, I want Eric Kendricks. That's who I want. I want him to come in here and play next to Nakobe Dean. That's who I want.
Oh, listen, there's a lot.
That'd be nice.
There's a lot of guys that we could Georgia, Bama guys you could bring in here at that number 10 spot, and a good outside guy, or you could
number 10. Look, number 10. I don't think they're going to be there. I think the Eagles are going to be smart and trade back and get more draft capital. I really do. I think they're going to trade back to like 13-ish, 13, 14-ish, because there's teams there that want to move up.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, you got a lot of holes to fill now.
They could easily trade back. I mean, let's do this.
You got, the kid Gonzalez? He's not scheduled to go till like late in the first round. You got Porter, who's going to go in the middle, like in the teen area, and then you got Witherspoon, who's probably more towards the beginning of the teens. So
here's my thing: is you got Carolina number 1 now with that trade.
I don't think they're staying there. I think they're dropping back.
Carolina just traded all that.
Yeah,
I know.
Who do you think they're going to drop back to though?
I think
a few spots.
Just a few spots. They want Will Levis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they moved up to the number 1. Yeah, they gave up a lot, but they're going to get back a lot too, because teams like guys like Irsay and Indianapolis.
That's my thing, is there's going to be at least 3 teams in front of us that are going to be going quarterback. At least.
Yeah.
Could be more.
4. I say 4.
Could be more. But that means you're going to get the top 6 players that aren't quarterbacks in the draft available to you. Mm-hmm. So that's why I don't know about I mean,
what about Jalen Carter? Would you take a risk on him, even though he's got all the legal trouble now?
I think you can drop back and get Carter. I think his
stock. I think he falls out of the first round.
And then maybe stay at 30 and pick him up then.
Is
that
I would. No, you know what? I could see the Eagles trading back in both, because you always have that one crazy team that's in the top 5 that wants to get back into the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
Whoever's picking top 5, one of them, they get nuts towards the end of the round, and they'll throw, a 1, a 3, a 4, and a 7 to move back up into the first round, and then you just get their spot in the second round. So I can see the Eagles trading back on both of their picks. I can see them going mid.
Does Detroit go for, since they're number 6? Do they go for a quarterback? Do you think, or are they?
They might.
I think they stay with Goff.
Well, no, they're going to stay with Goff, but how long do you think Goff's got left?
Right.
I don't think Goff got a decade. Like you have to start thinking about drafting his
future.
Their
Seahawks?
Future. No, I think they just signed Geno to a 3.
Geno, so
they got Drew Lock there too. Drew Lock's still there. Oh no, wait a minute, no, Lock's a free agent. So
yeah, Drew Lock's really not moving the needle for anybody, but all right.
I mean, he's not, but I mean, look what he had to deal with. I mean, he played for
the Raiders. They're going to need a quarterback.
Mariota. Mariota's going back. I'm telling you.
I think they.
You don't think they get a quarterback?
I think they get a quarterback.
I think they wait a year.
Here's my thing: is I think Houston gets a quarterback.
No, they're going defense, bro.
Who are they going to? Who's their quarterback then?
Yeah,
Davis Mills. They believe in that kid, man.
The only one's my eyes. But the Cardinals, they're not going to go quarterback. Indy, they'll go quarterback. You don't think Seattle's going to go quarterback? Detroit, we don't think so either. Vegas, I think so. I think they're going to go quarterback, and they might still sign Mariota for a year or two, just to
be a placeholder.
Yeah,
that's what he is now.
it's what he is. I mean, that's what he's been relegated to. And look how our history could have been. How different it could have been if we had Mariota. If Chip Kelly got what he wanted.
Yeah,
but listen. This is why I beg to differ with people, because people will sit there and say, "Oh well, Mariota wasn't a good pro." You got to remember, Mariota had 4 years in that system, so Mariota would have known the system coming in. It wouldn't have taken him long. He probably might have caught the NFL by fire if you take a look at it.
An up-tempo, play. Yeah, you're right.
I made this discussion with a lot of people, and I said, how many guys who just didn't pan out in the NFL could have been if they were in a different team or a different situation.
Right.
But
Mariota is one of them. I mean, I truly believe that, because if you watch the kid in college, he could make all the throws, and he wasn't scared to go downfield. He could run with the ball. You know what I mean? So, to me, honestly, I felt like, with Mariota, like I said, if he would have came here, Chip tried to get him. He tried to get him, but it was just too much of an asking price.
What do you think is going to happen in the running back position?
They're going to Kareem Hunt's coming here.
Think so?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they want a big back that they can get at a reasonable
Listen,
price.
how about Nick Chubb? They're talking about they might be releasing Nick Chubb, the Browns. Like, think about that for a second. Like, Kareem Hunt's already a free agent. Now you're talking about releasing Nick Chubb too?
Yeah,
I mean, Chubb would have to be the main guy here, though. But because he didn't like splitting time with Kareem Hunt. But if you look at it, I would take Kareem Hunt because he's got less wear and tear on his body, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you put him behind this offensive line, mixed in with Gainwell, and Boston Scott's going to resign here. The only team I think would be crazy enough to sign Boston Scott would be the Giants, only because he scores on them so much.
Well, there's James Robinson from the Jets, who's going to be a big noticeable free agent that's coming out.
I don't know, man. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I mean, if you might be able to get him on the cheap, Robinson, but I mean, there was a reason why the Jaguars got rid of him.
Correct.
They got rid of him to let Travis Etienne take over. So, I mean, there is a lot of good running backs, but I think Miles Sanders ends up in Miami.
You think so too?
Yep.
What's
a good fit? It's a good fit.
I hear Minshew wants some Minshew action. Miami wants some Minshew action.
Oh well, they probably saw how good he did for the Birds. I mean,
it's just for backup services.
Well, listen, if I'm Gardner Minshew, I want to go to Miami too.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, you got Tua starting in front of you. You're guaranteed 3 games.
Right.
So yeah, I would go there. I mean, hey, good luck to him, man. I mean, I hope he does. But
who do you think is going to be the backup for the Eagles now?
I hope it's not. What's his face? Ian Book. I hope it's not. I hope they're smart enough to go get themselves a veteran quarterback. I would like to see them. Like, listen, if they can't get Mariota, if Mariota doesn't go to the Raiders, I would love to see Mariota come here as a backup.
Ooh.
So this is Dives here. I think the Bears trade took them out of the Will Anderson, Jalen Carter sweepstakes for a reason. They're 1,000% targeting Hargrave.
Yeah, I think he's going there too. I mean, they're willing to throw buku money at him, and they got a lot of money to spend too. The Bears are up like around $80 million or something like that to spend. So, let me ask you a question though. How about some of the guys coming out of Cincinnati, man? I could see Joe Mixon getting cut. I mean, they're already going to lose T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is going to free agency.
I love the record.
Joe Mixon. Sean's got a great point here.
Bring in
Brandon Barrows, who was released by the Jets. Perfect replacement for Quez. Yeah, you wouldn't have to worry about Quentin Covey anymore.
No.
I mean, Barrios is pretty good.
Jimmy G?
Jimmy G might go to. I keep forgetting he's a free agent.
Yeah.
I could see him going to Vegas. Will Levis is going to the Colts. Or no, not Colts, Carolina, I mean.
Right. So
I think that's who they want. They're real big on Will Levis. So I'm hoping they don't make him the number 1 pick in the draft.
You think Jimmy G gets a shot with the Colts?
I think Jimmy G's going. I think he will go.
Well,
to
that's
Vegas
the Colts kind of MO, bringing guys who had some success somewhere else,
and then they always go for the retreads.
Yeah, they do.
Dave, I know they signed Gino for a 3-year deal, but obviously a 3-year deal does not mean quarterback of the future. That's why I asked the question.
I mean, I mean, really though, like, where do you see? Like, I don't know. Like the kid from what was it, Bryce Young? I don't see him going anywhere. Dorian Thompson Robinson would be a fun quarterback to
UCLA
develop
guy.
for the Eagles. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. He's got a big arm too. I watch all those wacky packy games out there. Um, so yeah, Dorian Thompson Robinson. Yeah, he's got. I like the running back there. What's his name? Charbonneau, or I believe that was his last name. Um, yeah, Charbonneau or Chabero or something like that.
Charbonnet.
Charbonnet, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the running back, dude. He's a bruiser. Like I would
Mhm.
love to see the Eagles get him. Like that dude. Like he hits you, he drags people, and he's not that. Like he's like 225, 230. But like I literally watched him when they played Utah. Like he he was getting met in the hole, and the linebackers were getting drugged 3 to 4 yards down the field. Dude was a beast, and he's got like great speed to the outside too. Like he can run. I would love them to pick him up in the draft somewhere down the line.
You know, listen, there's going to be a lot to look forward to here in free agency. Like I said, just here right around the corner. A lot going on with the Sixers, obviously. The Phillies start in 2 weeks. I'm pumped up. I can't wait. And of course, like I said, like Al said, a little later in the morning here, we're gonna have the all across all the time guys. Listen, the Wings took a punch to the throat yesterday. They're gonna be breaking it down. They're still holding that last seed spot. So we'll see what happens there. But guys, we're getting ready to wrap up the show here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the program as always. And we're going to give a shout out to our great sponsors here at EOP.
Don't forget here, we got phillysportstrips.com for all you great trips out there. Like I said, I was just in Clearwater. What a great time. Beautiful place. You might have missed out on the chance to get on the full trip, but I believe they still may have openings if you're going to be down there already. Join in some of their great parties that they'll have available. But they've already sold out 2 spring training trips this year, and they've already opened up the 2024 pre-registration. That's how busy and how excited people are for spring training and getting down to Clearwater. Don't forget they also have a bus trip for the Phillies to the Bronx, take on the Yankees. They have Kansas City for the draft coming up. They're going to go out to Colorado for the Phillies as well as the Union at the same time. If you want to double dip, you get a little extra time out there in Colorado. Don't forget London and Leeds for the Union. And I believe City Field, which I haven't updated this one, City Field is going to be a place for you to catch the Union in May as well. A lot of other trips they have coming up for the Phillies. I'll have a full Phillies lineup graphic for you guys coming up very soon. So you can check out phillysportstrips.com. And you know what? Get yourself in a car accident, get hurt at work, personal injury, criminal law. Don't worry, Dave Cherry will fight for your justice. Just give him a call at 610-565-0300. Go to cherryinjurylaw.com. And don't forget sherrystickets.com and save yourself 10% by using that EOP10 promo code. And for all you St. Patty's Day partiers, go over to Dolan's for the 69th annual St. Patty's Day at the Big D, Delco's greatest Irish dive. Dolan's Bar, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Go over to 24 East Sellers Avenue and enjoy and hang out with Brent Porsche from WMMR. Live bands, food vendors, drink specials, you name it, they got it all lined up. Here was a lineup for this week, and like I said, 11 a.m. right after, not too far after we hang it up. All across, all the time, we'll pick it up right where we left off from and talk your wings lacrosse and more. You name it. If your kids play lacrosse in the backyard, they will cover it. All across, all the time. They're the best, so check them out.
Yeah, man. And just to piggyback off that, again, everyone here at the EOP family does a great job covering everything. We got it all for you guys, 4 for 4 and more, just like it says here on the promo. I mean, everyone does a great job here talking wings with all the costs all the time. You guys can catch our union talk, with the attack and third guys. Everyone does a phenomenal job. So stay tuned for some more action. And guys, have a great Sunday. Go Sixers.
Have a good one.